Morning, this is Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World and the Off-Grid Project. I wish I had my camera next to me yesterday or last night. I looked like a raging lunatic out here. After working so hard, I had a ravenous appetite. And first I came and picked a large handful of blueberries off my bush, which, by the way, although it didn't look like much, is providing me with a daily handful of berries. I had actually a very large handful of berries last night. And eventually they'll run out, I can see it, but there's really, once they start getting fat and large and ripe, they're amazing. So also, once this thing stops producing fruit, I'm going to plant it in the ground so it'll grow more. It's alive and doing well in the pot, but I'm going to plant it in the dirt afterwards. But last night I sat down here in my garden and I just started devouring like a madman, just grabbing handfuls of food. I ate a bunch of lettuce. I sat right down and ate a bunch of lettuce. Then I ran over here and I ate a small zucchini that the tip had starting to rot off on. Then I grabbed a cucumber and I devoured that. Then I ran over here and stupidly grabbed the chili pepper. And that's when the funny part would have been good for you guys to watch. When I grabbed the chili pepper and I ate it, it was hot. And then I started running around groaning and making funny sounds and started stuffing my mouth with more food. This looks like a wild nightmare. Well, it is sort of. But it's providing a lot of food for me right now. I have to get the lawnmower out here again and mow my walkways. With all the rain we've had rain 10 days straight of rain. And so I was losing control of the grass growing in the walkways, because it's hard to mow when it's wet, really hard. So anyway, I was really just devouring foods. I ate that pepper and I just had to, oh, that would have been funny on camera. I was eating some wild sorrel, some onion tubes, and some herbs. I was eating some parsley. And this garden is really doing well. So my dinner last night was pure wild edibles. And here, the weeds. I mean, this, although it's a weed, it's all edible. This is really tasty. And the whole thing is edible. So I come out here and pull out my weeds and eat them. One way to take care of them. I have to start harvesting the dill. The rosemary died. I think probably it's too wet. But it's turning out. My, what are they called again? Marigolds? Marigolds are really looking good. Really looking good. Over here, look at that one. Really nice. And these guys here. Oh yeah, I was eating some of this. This is good stuff, by the way. Although it's bolted, it's still edible. And the more you eat, the more it's going to put up. And it tastes just like broccoli. Nothing wrong with it. So I just come out here and devour my garden. That's how I have my meals. No cooking, no cleaning, no mess. I covered my wood yesterday after work just in case it would rain, but it didn't. So finally we had a day of no rain. Now today, time to build my floor. I'm excited. I'm really excited because this is the time that I've been waiting for. tarps out to dry. They're all wet from all the rain. So I covered this up pretty well last night. That's some of the scrap wood from the old camper I used to help protect things a little. Now my door, I gotta find a better place to keep the door. The more I move it, the more scratched it gets, which doesn't matter. I'm gonna finish it, but I need to find a good place for it. I even kept the little end blocks in case of rain. I don't know if I'll use these for something or not, but you just never know when you're building. I think these were the short boards. I love wood. I love the smell. I love working with it. These are in the middle. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set up all my boards where they're going to be. I'm going to build the front part first. The front frame, the front floor joist will be assembled first here. So, because that's just a square box, there's nothing special or unique about it. Now again, if you remember, I'm starting with a double on the end. Also, there's a lot of screw holes on the bottom of that frame that I can mount this camper in my house to the camper frame. So I'll end up screwing through with some thick bolts later on. Every point where I can, I'll attach it. So I'll have to measure these out at every 2 feet. I'm going to get my tape measure in a couple minutes here. But set them out for now. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, So I'll go get my tape and space these ribs out on the frame here. Okay, there's the ribbing for the floor joist right there. That's spaced every 2 feet. That's 24-inch on center. I don't have them obviously lined up in the back. I just lined up the front. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 12-footer, and idea is I'm going to put my hanger brackets, my joist hangers, on the 12-footer first. And then once I've got all the brackets on here, basically what I'll do is walk up and drop that into place over the floor joists. So that'll lock them in like that. Now, I say drop it in place. Somebody on YouTube in the comments suggested that let me grab one of my hangers. A joist hanger is a metal bracket. It looks like this, and it attaches to your I think I want to say header, but forgive me if I'm wrong. It attaches normally. Say this is the top, and it stands like this. Normally it would attach on here, and then you nail it in. I'm going to screw it in, of course, and then your joists rest in here. But it was suggested to me on the comments that I do it upside down because I'm going to have a cantilever. Now, I didn't even know what a cantilever was really until this guy suggested this to me, and I got thinking, okay, what is that? And I started researching, and a cantilever means my boards over here, these guys hang over the frame of the trailer by 2 feet on each end, and that is a cantilever. Each position here, where's my finger? Here, each point where that connects the frame, or what hangs over the frame, creates a cantilever. And the wall, the pressure of the wall is pushing down on this, is going to cause the middle to rise up and cause warping and bending in the floor. And this is a point of, well, this is the only point of contact with the frame, and so that'll just be really putting violent stresses on that 2x6. So what I have learned from the suggestion or from studying online to help strengthen that is you put these joist hangers on upside down when you have a cantilever position. So this will be like this then. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to mark this out, my 24-inch spacing on my end board, my 12-foot board, and screw them in place. And then I'm literally going to take this and drop it onto the ribs, my floor joists, and then screw them in place. So that's the plan, and that's what I'm going to mark this out right now and screw these on. So I'm going to go get all my tools, and I'll be back in a minute here. First of all, my 12-footer is a little more than 12 foot. Just a tiny bit. So it's important to check. Your lumber is usually a little bit bigger than its rated length, so you can cut it square. And this end happens to be not square, so this is the end I'm cutting off. By the way, say thanks to my friend Reese for a lot of advice and tips I've been getting out here in construction. And I want to thank you very much in front of the world for all the advice you give me and all the tips and help on how to build this, and also stop me from doing a lot of stupid stuff quite often and teach me some important construction techniques, like how to square off the ends of your boards. Let me get my safety goggles. Today we're going to work properly and safely. Okay, now we've got 12 feet. I knew there was a reason I kept these little blocks. These hangers are bowed outwards. And when I put them on here, it's going to help me position this properly when I screw these on. That's going to be very helpful. I want to get a clamp as well so I can hold that in place better. So first thing, I want to mark these this every 2 feet, every 24 inches. Where I'm going to position each floor joist, dead center in the floor joist. If these are marked, it would be convenient if that was marked dead center. This fly is determined to stick on here. Every 2 feet, because I'm going 24 inch on center, I'll have a floor joist. Now with normal home construction, to build it by code, you use 18 on center, but because I am not building a house and building a trailer, there is no code and no inspection on this. It's built on a camper frame, and also I have to build with lightweight materials and skimp in some areas. So instead of 18 inch spacing, 16 inch, sorry, I said 18, didn't I? Instead of 16 on center, I'm going with 24s to save on weight. I got 18 in my mind because my roof is 9 inch on center and I'm going 18 inches. So I got 18 in my mind. Forgive me for the slur there. Okay, well, now it's a matter of taking my clamped pieces here. I've taken the joist hanger and clamped it onto my board, so I have a surface to work with here that's all even. Now, I need to make that flush. Take another one of my blocks. And what I want to do is make that flush here. Because this is the top of my floor. And I don't want anything hanging above anything else. So the joists are going to be at that metal thickness below the wood, below the end beam. Now, to make sure I'm lining this up this way, I'm going to mark this actually. I'm going to put a second mark on here now that I'm thinking of it. Just want to make sure I'm doing this right. So I'd rather do the first one slowly, take my time and do it right. Get these on straight. It would be horrible to have the ribs on crooked. Oh, that's a bad spot. So once I've got one done, the others will go faster, much smoother. It's really humid today. So this is the top. That being the bottom, yeah, that'll work out. This is the better side for screwing into. Okay, now I'm going to pause the camera and get my screwdriver and my screws, and I'll start putting this together. So, you're going to watch this as I do it. Wish that was magnetic. The right size screws, yeah. Make sure nothing moved. These are self-drilling screws. They're so nice. Really like it. So good. Saves work. Now this is, the length of these are almost going all the way through the wood. So there's one. That's going to be a tight fit. Yep, that's going to be a tight fit. But don't tell me I can't get it on now. It's good to test this out now rather than later. Oh yeah, that'll go. It's going to be tight, but I think what I'll do, I'll end up putting them in one at a time when I get over there. So I'm going to do the rest of these. I won't bore you with all the screwing and drilling, but I'll do the rest of these and get this board prepared. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 total, 5 on the of the joist hangers, and on the ends is going to be an angle bracket, so that's separate. I don't know if I said this the other day or not, but for anybody who may be stopping by and seeing this video and haven't been following me throughout the season this year, I am living off the grid and I am building my tiny home with all off-grid tools. I have battery-powered hand tools and equipment. I have this Ryobi set of power tools, which I heard Ryobi had a bad name in the past, but they have certainly made up for it, and Ryobi has turned out some very good quality devices here. Everything I do is either hand powered, or if I need a lot of power, I use a generator. But I just wanted to mention for anybody stopping in partway through here, I'm building a off-grid tiny home using off-grid tools, and I'm building a green home. I used to get sick all the time until I got away from chemicals and artificial junk, and now I don't get sick anymore. So my house is going to be built with all green, all natural materials, like the shellac that I bought for the floor the other day. Everything's going to be all natural, no chemicals, no artificial anything. So I think it's sort of cool and very fitting that my off-grid and green tiny home will be built in an off-grid setting. Let me just show you here. Again, this is for those who haven't followed me regularly. I'm in the forest. I'm in a meadow in the woods. There are no wires. I have a lot of tents and storage, but there are no wires, no connections to the outside world, nothing at all. Just me sitting out here in the forest and building my green tiny home with off-grid tools. So that's just, I thought I'd share that with anybody who might be interested. I just think it's just very fitting for the tiny home movement, and especially since it's going to be an off-grid house. It just fits. Now, I take my beam here, and now comes the hard part. Slipping these brackets into place. So as I said, the ends are going to be put together later. It's probably a good thing. I'm going to have to do these carefully, one at a time. I think I'm going to slide out the 2 outside end ones further. Put the others into place after. It'll be a little bit easier to deal with. Now again, I'm no expert, so I'm probably not doing this the easiest or the best way or the right way. I'm doing it the way that I know. I'm sure it would be easier with a helping hand. like a floor. Now I'll just screw those ends in, and then later after I get this end piece together, I'll center this on the frame. That went smoothly. That went very well. Easier than I had expected, actually. I like it. I'm starting to get excited. This is looking good. Now what I'll do is I'll slide each of these up in there and butt them in place properly and put the screws in. I'm also going to put 3/4 screws in the ends of each board just for extra strength and stability. This is exciting. It's happening now. It's happening today. This is really exciting. So I'm just going to screw these all together, and we'll be back in a minute when I put on the ends. Now I have the joist hangers connected to all the ribs here securely. I did not connect the outside ones yet. I'm going to do them after I've done the other side so that I can make sure I get this on square. I want to make sure I do it right and do it square. So right now I've got the other piece here on the bench, and I'm going to put all the joist hangers on this board and then take it over there and put it on like I did with that one. I've got my second bracket finished, and I'm going to walk it over here and put it on the other side and fasten it. Now is when all the warped boards show themselves. Yep, this is awkward. Yeah, the warping in the boards is really a problem here. Wow. I'm going to get my rubber mallet, help pound these into place, and find my rubber mallet. So this is going to take a minute because some of the ribs are bent. There's a little bit of warping sideways and twisting in the beams. That can happen sometimes. So I'm going to get a mallet and tap these in gently. I should have just left the camera recording. I'm a little out of breath. I didn't find my rubber mallet, so I just used a lot of basically I sat on them and pushed and pulled and twisted, and I got them in for the most part. Now they're not all perfect yet, so I'm going to screw in the ones that are right now, and then the other ones will be easier to pound and tap into place. I couldn't find my rubber mallet, so but I got it mostly on there. I'll screw them on now, and then we'll do the outside edges in a minute. Okay, that was a bit of a workout, but they're on there. Now I've got to do the end over here, and I've got these angle brackets which will go on the inside edge of each side on the ends there to hold that last boarding piece. So I'll do that. And then this one over here, I'm not sure. I want to double this up, but I'm not quite sure. I'm thinking right now. Really giving that some thought on that right now, because I need the extra board. So I'm going to give that some consideration for a few minutes while I put this end cap on.